is that's going on? Well, what's going on is I am in a location that I used to frequent when I was a young child. We lived really close to here. This was the main street that was closest to my house. The main large intersections were here, and we lived a little bit of ways in the neighborhood. So when I'm learning about, what's a street, what's a road, what's a neighborhood, what's an intersection, this is the place I was frequenting. And we're just coming upon a place where a mall opened up when I was maybe junior high school. A little mall opened up. We used to differentiate between strip malls, which meant you could get into all the stores from the outside, from the parking lot, but they all connected in a strip, versus the mall, which meant you go inside the mall and then there are some stores that you can only get into, most stores you can only get into once you're inside the mall. So we've got the mall, which many people hung out in the 70s and 80s, where you park, then you go inside, and then there's lots of stores in there. But most of the stores you can't get to until you're already in the mall, versus the strip mall, where you just pull up and park, and then you go into whichever store you want. So we've got the strip mall here, and in the strip mall was a piano and organ store. And my parents and I went into the mall, and it was a combination strip mall and other mall, because there were a few stores where you had to access them after you'd already been inside. And my parents were shopping, and I was wasting time, doing something until they were done. And I went into the piano and organ store and started playing on an organ, electric organ. So I've always been into music. I always sang. And every once in a while, if there was a musical instrument somewhere, I would try it out. I would always drum with my fingers to music, and enjoyed studying music and collected lyrics in my head and melodies and compare them in my head and so forth. But I didn't have access to a keyboard. But there I was in the mall. I don't know what my parents were shopping for, but they must have known where I was. You guys shop here, I'm gonna go hang out in the organ store. And so I'm playing on the organ. Don't know exactly what I'm playing. I don't think I understood. I might have known the names of the notes, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but I'm pretty sure I did not understand chords, because that experience led me to understanding chords. C, E, and G is the C chord. D, F sharp, and A is the D major chord. And I didn't know that yet. So I'm playing on the organ, and a salesperson comes over and tells me to leave. I don't think they were particularly rude, but I don't remember. It's very possible that they did exactly what a salesperson should do. Like if I was a salesperson at a piano and organ store and a kid comes in and is playing on the organ, unless he's pounding on the organ, in which case I would ask him to leave immediately. But if he's just playing the organ or looking at it, I would say, can I help you? May I help you? How are you? Some kind of greeting. And then what we used to always say is, oh, I'm just looking. And that meant, leave me alone, I don't want any sales help right now. And I would give the kid a couple minutes, and then I might ask him to leave, or I might give him a look, or I might let them stay all day. So I don't know if the salesperson did exactly what they should have done, or if they were rude, but I was tearfully exiting the store, not bawling or anything, but a little upset, a couple tears in my eyes. And my dad was incensed that the salesperson had chased me out of the piano and organ store. And we drove to another piano and organ store, bought an organ, electronic Hammond organ, went back to that strip mall organ store, and showed the salesperson the receipt. Now, my father was not generally that spontaneous to spend, I don't know, $1,000, $2,000. I don't know how much organs cost back then, and I don't know what amount would be comparable in today's money either, for how much organs cost then or how much they cost now. But this was not a candy bar purchase. This was not a meal amount of money. This was not this was not a decision that you make in a day. This is a lot of money that you spend after you've talked it over with your family and thought about it, and after you know that the kid really wants to play the organ or really wants to take lessons and has some kind of commitment. And that is not what he did. I didn't ask to buy an organ. My mom certainly didn't think we were buying anything like that day. But somebody made him mad by insinuating in his mind that we couldn't afford an organ. And he went and bought an organ. A huge thing that has to be delivered to the home, that you have to move your furniture and make room for. And we all took organ lessons, and we all learned, I don't think they really paid any attention, but we all learned what a C chord was, and what a D major chord was, and what a D minor chord was, and diminished and augmented chords, and we all took organ lessons. And there was an organ in my home for the next 10 years because of that one incident. There you go.